The story of the $1 million that could have bought Google is not about regret, it is about perspective. It is a reminder that our greatest opportunities may look uncertain and even risky, but the ability to lean into vulnerability and trust possibility can change everything. Playing safe feels comfortable, but it rarely shapes the future. The question for us is simple: when the next chance comes, will we be brave enough to see it? The missed opportunity came in 1998 when two young founders with a bold idea approached Yahoo offering to sell their groundbreaking search technology for just $1 million. At the time, Yahoo was one of the giants of the internet world, leading the way in how people discovered and navigated online content, while Google was just a small startup run out of a garage with little more than an ambitious dream. Yahoo saw search as only a small part of the internet experience, something useful but not necessarily the future, and so they dismissed the offer, believing it wasn't worth investing in. They couldn't see that hidden within that $1 million deal was the seed of what would become a revolution in how humans interact with knowledge. What looked small and insignificant was in fact the foundation of the modern digital age, and by saying no, Yahoo not only walked away from a promising technology but from an opportunity to reshape history. This moment has since become one of the clearest examples of how a single choice can echo across decades, showing us that the cost of dismissing potential is sometimes far greater than the cost of taking a risk. A different timeline is something we can only imagine, but it sparks one of the most fascinating what-ifs in technology history. Had Yahoo said yes in 1998, the internet might look completely different today. Google's groundbreaking search algorithms could have been nurtured under Yahoo's banner, giving them control over how billions of people around the world find information. Instead of Google becoming the household name it is now, we might have been saying "Let me Yahoo." That the story of the digital revolution could have had Yahoo at the center, leading innovations in search, ads and data-driven tools, but hesitation and short-sightedness closed that door. They saw only a small project, not a future empire, and by passing on Google they passed on the chance to shape the direction of the modern internet. Their moment of doubt cost them not only the deal but also their place as leaders in a world that was rapidly moving toward search-driven discovery. What might have been a future of Yahoo as the king of the internet instead turned into a lesson of how quickly opportunities can slip away and how costly hesitation can become. Fear of the unknown played a huge role in Yahoo's decision, because in 1998 investing in Google wasn't just about handing over $1 million, it was about trusting the vision of two young entrepreneurs who dared to dream bigger than anyone else could see. At the time, Yahoo's leaders looked at Larry Page and Sergey Brin and saw two ambitious students with unproven ideas, not the pioneers of a search revolution. They couldn't imagine that the way people explored the internet would shift so dramatically that one simple, clean and efficient search box could become the center of the digital world. Their hesitation came from the comfort of what they already knew. Yahoo was thriving with its directory model, ads and massive user base, and it felt safer to stick with what worked rather than embrace something new. Yet history shows us that the unknown is often where the greatest opportunities lie. Fear whispered that $1 million was too much to gamble on a small startup, but what it really revealed was a lack of trust in possibility, a failure to see that courage sometimes means leaning into uncertainty and giving faith to ideas that seem too bold to be true. In turning away from Google, Yahoo wasn't just saying no to technology, they were saying no to a vision that could have reshaped their future. The courage to see potential is what separates good leaders from great ones, because managing what already exists is a skill, but recognizing the hidden value in something that doesn't yet look obvious takes vision, imagination and bravery. In 1998, when Google was a small, unproven startup, it didn't look like the trillion-dollar empire it would one day become. It looked like a gamble, a pair of young founders with an idea to make internet searches faster, cleaner and more accurate, and that didn't fit into the conventional models of success that Yahoo was comfortable with. Yet history tells us that the greatest breakthroughs rarely look impressive at first. They come disguised as small, fragile and even risky ideas that need belief more than they need proof. Courage in leadership means being able to look at something unpolished and imagine what it could grow into. It means trusting that innovation often starts messy, uncertain and unconvincing, and still saying yes anyway. Yahoo missed that chance because they chose the safety of what they could measure instead of the bravery to see what couldn't yet be seen. Had they chosen courage, their name might have been written into the heart of internet history. Instead, their hesitation serves as a lesson that potential often hides behind uncertainty, and only those willing to step into that unknown can unlock it. The cost of playing safe is often invisible at first. Because it feels comfortable to stick with what is known and familiar, Yahoo thought they were avoiding risk by saying no to Google's $1 million offer in 1998, but in reality they created a much bigger risk, one that would unfold slowly yet powerfully over the years: the risk of irrelevance. When leaders choose safety over vision, they may avoid short-term losses, but they often plant the seeds of long-term decline. Yahoo believed they were protecting their business model, their resources, and their control, but what they failed to see was that innovation does not wait for comfort zones. The internet was changing at lightning speed, and users were hungry for a smarter, faster way to search. By playing safe, Yahoo missed the chance to lead that transformation and instead watched from the sidelines as Google rose to dominance. The irony is that their attempt to minimize risk resulted in the ultimate loss, not only financial but cultural and strategic. They went from being the giant everyone looked up to in the early internet age to a cautionary tale of how clinging to safety can strip away relevance. The cost of that decision wasn't just measured in money, but in the collapse of their influence, their brand, and their legacy. A billion-dollar lesson is carved into the story of Yahoo's missed chance to buy Google for just $1 million, because today Google is not just successful, it is worth more than $1 trillion and has become one of the most powerful and influential companies in the world. What makes this lesson so striking is not simply the difference in money, but the reminder of how small choices can ripple into outcomes no one could have imagined. In 1998, $1 million seemed like too much of a gamble for an unproven search technology, yet that same decision decades later stands as one of the greatest missed opportunities in business history. It shows us that the decisions we make often carry far more weight than we realize at the time. One yes or one no can change the entire trajectory of a company, a career, or even an industry. This is not just about numbers, it is about vision, about having the courage to see possibility where others see risk, and about recognizing that sometimes the smallest overlooked opportunities hold the power to redefine the future. Yahoo's decision is a timeless example that reminds us of the hidden cost of hesitation and the unimaginable rewards of foresight. The human side of mistakes reminds us that this story is not only about business empires or trillion-dollar companies, it is also about us, about the everyday choices we make and the moments when fear convinces us to play it safe. How many times in our lives have we walked away from an opportunity because it felt too uncertain? How often have we convinced ourselves that waiting was wiser than leaping, only to look back later and wonder what might have been? The truth is that missed chances don't always come with headlines or billion-dollar valuations. Sometimes they come quietly, in the form of a job we didn't apply for, a relationship we didn't pursue, an idea we never spoke aloud, or a risk we avoided because the unknown felt too big. The story of Yahoo and Google magnifies this universal truth: the decisions that seem small in the moment can define entire chapters of our lives. Courage rarely feels comfortable, in fact it almost always shows up wrapped in vulnerability, but it is often the very thing that carries us toward growth and possibility. When we avoid risk, we may feel safe, but we also risk losing the chance to shape the story we long for. The missed $1 million deal is a mirror for us all, asking us to consider where in our lives we might be letting fear write the ending instead of courage. In conclusion, the story of the $1 million that could have bought Google is not simply a business anecdote, it is a powerful reminder of how choices shape the future. Yahoo's decision to play it safe became one of the most expensive mistakes in history, while Google's willingness to pursue its vision turned into a revolution that transformed how the world accesses knowledge. But beyond the numbers, this story speaks to us about courage, vulnerability, and the risk of avoiding risk. It shows us that missed opportunities are not only measured in money but in the lives we might have lived and the possibilities we might have embraced. The lesson is clear: safety can feel comforting in the moment, but it rarely builds legacies. The future belongs to those who dare to see potential where others see uncertainty, and who are willing to step into the unknown with courage.